circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. In a circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. In a circle podcast where love is well known.
Good evening, and family, and welcome to a very special edition of the Inner Circle podcast, where we amplify voices, empower communities, and elevate our collective potential. These two ladies helping us to elevate our collective potential in this community. So tonight, we are planting a seed, right, for something powerful, something visionary, an idea first sparked by these two entrepreneurs, entrepreneur ladies, right, Miss B and Miss Jewri during last week's business segment. And we want to kind of evolve it into a full-blown, movement, the Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum, right? Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum. I think that is something we should definitely, right? We shouldn't just talk the talk, but we should walk the walk. So tonight, that's what we are aiming to do. And this forum is not just a discussion, it's a platform to build generational wealth, as we have talked about many times on this platform, to educate, to collaborate, and to invest as a community. It's good to do it by yourself sometimes, but community is power. Community is power. So it's going to be from real estate to stocks, from credit to economics. I mean, everything, right? So this will be a trusted space. And we'll do this. And then, as I was jokingly saying last time, we might do it. We might have a in-person forum. Miss Jewri have it. She said, no. So we'll find a community center and do something like that. But that's what we're going to be discussing tonight, the Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum. That's our topic for tonight. So I'm your host, Abe Kamara. Today is Wednesday, May 14, and welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast, where we amplify, empower, and elevate. So my co-host, Miss B.
Good evening, everyone. Again, it's Wednesday, Business and Finance. It's your girl, Miss B. I always mind the business that pays me. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Jewri. You're on mute.
Happy Day, everyone. I'm a little tired.
Oh, Jay, we about to wake you up. We're talking about money.
I had a long day today, so I'm a little
You're hustling for yourself. That's what happens when you have a long day hustling for those.
That part, yeah.
But that's good, though. That's good. But we hope, as Ms. B said, we hope we can wake you up as the segments, move along, things like that. Okay. So, but folks, again, welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast. Today, obviously, is Wednesday and business segment. Topic again for tonight is the launch of the Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum, and these two ladies, myself, we're going to discuss that. It's an idea that came about last week. Before we dive into things, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, LinkedIn, wherever, X or Twitter, wherever you get your podcast. So thank you so much for joining us. It is a movement. We're planning to grow this movement, not only talk, right, but walk the walk. So that's what we are aiming to do tonight. But Miss B, man, when you guys talk about that stuff last week, it really hit me. During that time, you said, God, we should invest as a community, not just individual. So shout out to you and Miss Jewri for doing that. But I thought, you know what, we shouldn't just talk it. Let us try to walk it. And that's the aim of our tonight. What's the reaction to that?
I'm excited about that because right now the real estate market is funny, but
Mm-hmm.
but actually is the best time for commercial. So for those of us that have not been in the commercial market and looking to jump in, this is the best time. I say that because some of the craziest deals are happening right now, right? People are getting Wells Fargo downtown buildings for like not even half, maybe 80% less than what. So I think Wells Fargo bought the building for 14 million and they sold for maybe 4. So just think about, how much of a deal somebody got to get the
Mm-hmm.
Wells Fargo. I think it's called the Wells Fargo Tower downtown
Mm-hmm.
Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many other commercial buildings right now. The market it has changed because a lot of people went remote, and so folks are trying to offload, so it's a great time to get a good deal. Like I said, when you think about the Capella Tower downtown Minneapolis, Hennepin County has footprint down there. There's so many things right now as far as the commercial market, so many great opportunities. I'm in residential and it's sucking right now, for somebody who has a property on the market since October trying to sell it, but it
Mm-hmm.
is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think residential right now, I can say it's turning into a buyer's market, but not 100% because the interest rate is not the best. But if you are looking to get your feet wet and interested investing in commercial, this is a good time to take that risk.
Okay. Miss Jerry, shout out to you as well, right, for kind of bringing up this idea about community investment, right? Like individuals can do it, right? And I mean they can be successful, but sometimes there's a quote out there, they say if you want to go fast, go alone, but you want to go further, you want to go, farther, like go with it with the community. So what was it about this community investment stuff that that taught you, right, that inspired you to bring it up?
Where I've been seeing in other communities,
Mm,
and a lot of people has been successful. So, for example, with the Indian community, they
yeah,
invest heavily in real estate. I don't know if any of you have been noticing, especially within the Maple Grove area
yeah.
and Edina, Medina, and all of those places.
Mm-hmm.
They are coming together as a community and
Mm-hmm.
buying a bunch of these new constructions, and
Mm,
they are renting it out.
yeah.
It's not just one person that's doing that. It's them coming together and pouring the money together and getting bunch of investment properties. And I was just telling somebody the other day, I'm like, these people are sneaking up on us. I don't know if you guys are taking notice of it,
Okay,
but a
okay.
few years from now, they're going to
Yeah,
own most of Maple Grove.
yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a good one, right? That's a good one, right? So obviously you saw a need, you see that there's a gap, right? But why do you think the time is right? Why now? Why now you think the community, right? We African immigrants, we immigrant. Why do you think the time is now for us? Why now?
We have a lot of economical power in Minnesota, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it. We have the potential to do these things. We just need to come together and figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not any different from them. We make the same money they make,
Okay.
or even more. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
That's no. I mean, that's a few on Miss B though, right? So how can we, as I said, this idea when you guys brought it last week, what I mean? It's like I said, wow, that's a great idea. But how can we get folks started? How can we try to, as a community, put our resources together? I mean, you have talked about the commercial space. Miss Jerry is talking about, these single family homes, right? Is that investors can come and actually buy them, and those things are lucrative though. Don't I mean, it's like especially like new constructions. I mean, new constructions right now, right? It's like the builders they're having a hard time getting single buyers. So if investors can come in and buy from them, they're happy to do it. So, but how can we get started though, right? I mean, when it comes to the kind of ideas, how can we get started? I mean, sometimes when first look at maybe putting resources together, they think about huge amounts. How can we even start from the little ones?
I think the first thing is the fact that we are on here every Wednesday talking
Mm-hmm.
about this, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
being very honest about what we do know, what we don't know, and what we
Mm-hmm.
have going. I think
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes when I listen to different type of entrepreneurs, they speak about this self-made type thing, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
bootstrap notion that, oh, they did it all by themselves, and nobody, not one person. I task you, find me one, one wealthy person, find me one investor, one developer that did it on their own. You will not find that, because that's the reality. Nobody can do it on their own. And I think that's been the key narrative that we've hopefully been driving, and people are looking at the landscape now and saying, hey, this 9 to 5 is not going to cut it. This nursing degree, no matter if I have the master's in nursing or
Mm-hmm.
the MD in nursing, is not enough to go back home and live the lifestyle I want to live in Liberia, and that retirement dream I want to have either here or abroad is not
Mm-hmm.
enough. So I think this is a good time for us to be talking about how do we bring the community together collaboratively. I'm a firm person about being honest and transparent with people, and understanding that when I'm saying this and I'm proposing this, I'm coming with all the resources that I have as far as
Okay.
legal support, other
Mm-hmm.
people who have done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
To show people who are examples of existing people who have done it, who
Yeah.
have come together in different types of partnerships and different ways of purchasing things, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to be honest and transparent about.
Okay. Do you think, like, I mean, both of you can take this one? How has, like, like, I just feel that there's a financial disconnect, right, in our community, right? Folks, we all do, like, a lot of people sometimes, when you get into the community, right, folks have things going on, but it's all like it's disconnected. Sometimes even from the community, right? There's not that connection. There's not the interconnectedness, right? How is that affecting us in terms of building wealth, in terms of our success stories and things like that? Miss Jerry, I'll start with you, and then maybe like Miss B, you can chime me as well.
Well, I feel like a lot of the times within our community, I think we talked about this before, where we get into business and partnership with a proper documentation in place,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
things go south and things get sour,
Mm-hmm.
and then people don't trust each other anymore, and then it becomes a stereotype where, okay, it's like, okay, every Liberian, even though it's not necessarily every Liberian, just because it
Yeah.
happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like once we have the proper structure in place
Yeah.
and a very clear goal, what we want to do with this type of investment,
Yeah.
and the right contracts and stuff,
Mm.
people will put their money in. People want to do these things. They just don't know how, and they just don't trust people enough to want to do it.
Okay. So Miss B, that's it right there, right? Is like Miss Jerry is saying, if we want to launch this thing, if Inner Cycle Podcast want to lead the initiative, we got to make sure we put proper documentation together. We make sure that folks can trust us. Do you agree?
Totally. I working in nonprofit or for
Mm-hmm.
profit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're both different types of business form models,
Yeah.
but rest assured, it's a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's a nonprofit, I
Yeah.
do nothing without contracts.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do nothing without. I can't tell the last time I did anything on a verbal agreement or in a handshake, a
Okay.
smile, or you
Mm-hmm.
come and say, "Oh, I know you from Facebook." I Yeah,
Okay.
I don't operate like that. Even when you want a letter of support from me, I'm going to tell
Mm-hmm.
you, send me an email. Let's make
Okay.
it a formal ask. So
Mm.
that's what I'm telling people. That's what I'm bringing forth, and I would want you to demand the same thing.
Okay. So for you, you need traceability, you need
Yes,
documentation, you need
yes.
something to reference back to though. So if we want to push the initiative as a server, right, it shouldn't just be us talking about action. If we want to push it, how can we hearing from you two Liz? How can we get started? Is that what's the process like? Or how's the process going to be like? I'm very interested. I'm interested in this. I mean, the thing you guys are kind of a spark something in me, right? It's like, man, but it's something that can be done, right? We might overlook it, but how can we get started?
Go ahead,
For me,
Jerry. You the consultant. Care of
Yeah,
you.
you know,
Care
I
of
was
you.
here.
How is
You
care
know,
of
I was
you
here.
going to bring
for
us
me
together?
personally, I feel like we should start small.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like with an accountability group,
Yeah.
where everybody, it don't have to be super formal where we go, like you can just meet at somebody's house, and then
Mm-hmm.
people just bounce idea off of each other and see where things go, and we
Mm.
can go from there. Start with a small group of people and eventually invite other people to come along once we figure out exactly what we want.
Okay.
Then we can
Okay.
take it out there, invite more people, and be like, okay, this is what we have, this is the vision we have, and we want you guys to come on board and invest in this.
Okay. Okay. Miss B.
So like a planning committee, steering
Mm.
committee,
Mm.
Yeah.
or unofficial board.
Okay. Okay. And do you think so? If that's the case, then it's like so. I consider the three of us as the initial people, and then invite folks in? How's that? Hey, we are going worldwide here, right? And stuff like that. It's something I said we shouldn't just talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Of course. Yeah.
Mm, okay, Miss B.
Like I am so busy.
Mm,
That's why I appreciate
mm-hmm.
having the relationship that I have with you all on the Inner Circle podcast, right? I don't feel
Okay,
alone in this
okay.
journey. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is very welcoming for me, right? Because
Okay,
I've been wanting to do this for a while on the community. I mean, in my personal aspect, I've done it in my work aspect. In my
okay,
personal aspect, I wanted to do it for a while, but it's a heavy lift. It can be a
okay,
heavy lift. And so if
okay.
I feel like I have a support system, especially starting with you two, I'm
Mm-hmm.
all for it.
Okay, okay. And then I'm moving to the community, right? I know that we are in a community sometimes like there's a wealth gap in our community, right? And then sometimes, I know Miss Jerry, you have mentioned this a couple of times, Miss B as well. We are always in a survival mode, right? We don't get into this wealth building, norm until we are always survival mode. As we try to maybe push this initiative, how can we have that mindset shift? Is it just going on? Yeah, we can get into these forums, and talk, but how can we get our community to have that mindset shift, right? It's not just about surviving or you're not trusting someone, she said. So don't have proper documentation in place, right? There is something that can be a great initiative. So how can we go from survivor to building wealth more? Miss Jerry.
Oh, you want me to go? I was
Yeah.
ready for this B to go.
No, no, go first. Go first. Go first on you.
So, I guess it's getting people to see the vision, because once you can tell somebody, this is how I'm going to make you make money. Everybody wants to make money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Once you can, okay, if you invest it, for example, if we're doing real estate, we have to make people understand the power in investing and
Yes.
how the wealth can grow over time. And
Mm-hmm,
if we're giving them a clear picture and telling them this is this, people will want to put their money in it.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
we have to sell it. It comes down to sell how well we sell it to other folks.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
Already we have
When it
people
comes
who
to
want to get going.
when it comes to selling, right? When it comes to the marketing and the selling, right? I think that's why Cycle Podcast, can be a great, vehicle for that. And also that I think all of us, right? The one thing we I think we'll talk about it on the entertainment segment on Monday. The one thing we Liberians especially that get of this is marketing, right? Well, once you learn something, yes, but what? It's a great idea. Folks will come along. Nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You have to be a marketer. You have to be a seller. You know what I mean? You have to say. I mean, I agree with you. You have to set the idea. You have to set the vision, and you have to make people to believe, right? And you have to stay with it. It's not always going to be gravy. It's not going. I mean, you guys know this, right? In the business world or whatever life is always ups and downs, and especially in the business or in the investment world. That's true, right? So it's staying with it, it's marketing, constant marketing, and setting the vision and selling the idea that we have, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, okay, Miss B.
And yeah, I mean, I would say that there are people who really want to do this. I know that for a fact that there's people
Mm-hmm,
who really want to do this.
mm-hmm,
It works best when we are about things, because what happens is people
Um,
don't trust.
yeah,
My five
okay,
people
you
that
right.
I
Yeah.
trust, Jerry will
Mm-hmm,
have her five people that you trust, and then you will see what will grow from that. I don't think it's necessarily need to depend on marketing in this at first. It's gonna be that word of mouth and referral that's
yeah,
gonna be able to bring this thing to life.
okay. Okay, well, folks, tonight we are Miss B. Why you face your internet? Folks, tonight we are discussing the Inner Cycle Podcast Investment Forum.
You
Right?
guys
It's
can't
some.
hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. You are breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit. Your internet, something. Maybe are you in your basement or something? So you need to, you probably need to fix that. But
it's not
uh,
clear.
she's working on her audio. But folks, tonight we are discussing the Inner Cycle Podcast Business Forum, a brand new initiative that was proposed by Miss B and Miss Jerry, that the community, right, instead of just talking about stuff, we should try to kind of launch this idea, launch this initiative where in that we can come together and invest as a community. It's always good. It's good to go alone, right? But when we can do it together, there's a possibility we might grow wealth in this community. Because we complain, we blame that things not in our favor, life is leaving us back. But there's so many opportunities. As these two ladies know, so many opportunities in real estate. I mean, right now, Miss B was saying it's a great time to be in real estate. I would definitely tell you, right, the best time now to be to be in the equity market, right? I mean, in the stock market is one of the best time to be there, right? Because I mean, every day something is flipping. Every day is different. It's different news. Every day is something else. So it's the best time to be in that space as well. But there's so many other opportunities, right? Single family home, the commercial space. There's so many other spaces I think that we can explore with this. So that's what we are discussing tonight, folks. You can put a comment in the chat if you want to, if there's something that appeals to you and you want to be part of it, you can put a comment in the chat. You can also call our number 952-594-5154. But in Jerry, though, right, it's something like it's an economic power also leads to political power. And we see that a lot in the Caucasian community. These folks, man, is like you think is like I went to the state capitol a few weeks ago. I mean, I didn't know how much money was these things. Let's just be be is like distributing around, right? And the place
Mhm.
you find it the most, right? Where most of the resources go is, I mean, is these Caucasian communities because they have
Mhm.
the economic power, so the political power accrue to them, and then what? Vice versa, the economic power go right back to them. How
Yeah,
can we model that in our communities?
I feel like we need to get more people in those doors
Okay.
because these people, if you notice, they have the people in there, like
Mm-hmm.
representatives and lobbyists and other people that represents them. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who right now she's really lobbying heavily in the home healthcare space.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, like you go over there, it's all them. So when these people make laws and all these changes,
Uh-huh.
it don't affect the people very much. It always affects us because we don't have anybody in those doors and they are
Mm-hmm.
making the laws in favor of their people.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get more people, as you said, economical power, like she was telling me, like at the end of the day, corruption is everywhere. Not just corruption, but people will look out for people who, for example, you contribute to the campaign or maybe the non-profit or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and you
Mm-hmm.
put people in these spaces, they're gonna look out for you. And
Mm-hmm.
she's just saying like just having more people in these rooms and when these policies and different laws and stuff are being put in place and just understanding to we have to take time to understand different laws and policy and how it affects us and our communities too as well.
Okay. I want to go and just to your friend point, right? If she hasn't connected with, Huda Hisley, Representative Huda Hisley, she's a great community partner, right? She loves the community. She really
Okay.
want to advocate for the community. So if you need help connecting, if your friend need help connecting, let us know and we can make sure, right? Huda is really working in the interest of the community. I think she really want to empower the community, right? For the community to have the kind of a knowledge, right? She can't do everything. She's in there by herself. But to your point, if your friend want to maybe chat with Representative Huda Hisley, just let us know. Is Miss B girl, and Miss B can actually do that connect and things like that. So, but Miss B, we're talking about political and economic power, right? And Miss Cherry was just saying, right, that you go to the state capital, or you go to all these state capitals. Man, that's where I didn't know there was a lot of money in there, right? Until I went there, so I said, "Oh, but whoa, is that how it is here? Is that how it is here, right? It's like it's a revolving door. It's back
Billions and billions.
yeah, they send their people there and their people send it back to them. Is it?
And the what you will see is chambers, business chambers.
Yeah.
Chambers exist for a reason. The
Mm,
chambers, what they do is business are members and they're paying their dues, and that membership buys them a lobbyist. That lobbyist will go every year to Congress with different bills, different policies to ensure that those businesses will get the resources that they need. And that's the surprising through to immigrants, African immigrants. They're not knowledgeable of how much um, money businesses get from government because it's not something that happens back home, at all. But
Mhm.
there's no business, again, no business. I know we sell this individualism and bootstrapping and self-made, but it's not a reality. The reality is
mhm,
businesses do not get made in this country without support. And that
mhm,
support comes from the private sector, existing business owners, investors, and largely too from your local municipalities, all the way to your state and your federal. Provide resources for businesses to try, because the return on that investment to them for investing in these businesses and these corporations to grow is they're creating jobs for their citizens. They
Yeah.
want their citizens to be employed. They want their citizens to be having money to get taxes from them. And so their incentive is, let's support the businesses to create these jobs, and our citizens will stay employed and our economy will keep booming.
I mean, that's a. I mean, that's a. You see,
Simple formula.
a simple, very very simple formula. So we need to get more of our people, as Miss Jerry said, into those doors. But to get our people into those doors, we have to have the economic power. But individually, we cannot have those economic power or that financial power. We got to come together. And that's, as I said, man, the idea these two ladies brought, right, is like it sparked something in me. I don't know what it is, but it just sparked something in me, and I think that it can be done. But I mean, it has to be done obviously in small steps. But that's the reason why, like, Inner Cycle Packet, that's why we do this every Wednesday, right? To come here intentionally talk about these things, right? And then the next aspect of it, though, I would like to move to is a lot of us struggle in silence. The businesses, as you talk about, right? Like, you have a lot of chamber of commerce, or you have a lot of business associations, right? But especially in the African immigrant community, the only people that seems to be an exception, I don't know how they find that formula, are the Somalians, man. It's like they have discovered a formula that a lot of other African immigrants have not discovered, right? They have discovered a formula is like they are not doing it in silence, but they are doing it together. How can we in our community, the West African immigrant community, the other African community, immigrant community, how can we stop suffering in silence and bring the community together to really buy into this idea about community investment?
I think in Liberia, for us, is that universal language. I think what other African immigrant countries have is some kind of universal language,
Mm-hmm.
something that as the citizens from that country, they all can resonate and unite on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Liberia, we have 16 different tribes.
Mm-hmm.
We have natives versus the Congo people. And so it's all those different barriers, really. Things that we can find to differentiate ourselves from each other are really just causing barriers. And
Mm-hmm.
I think like Somalians, right? They have a universal language. Their religion is a huge piece of it, right? I would tell you, this is how much these people have infiltrated the economic system here. Is they have Islamic banking is happening at major banks, at national banks, right? When I say Islamic banking, the mindset that they cannot take on loans, they cannot take on things with interest rate. So
Interesting.
Islamic people are buying homes, they're getting business loans at the way in which that they do it culturally and religiously. So that speaks volumes to, this is who I am, this is how I want to operate, and I'm going to make sure the system can accept me and operate for me and work for me. And that's what the Somali community has been able to do successfully. And then they understand the political power. They have Ilhan Omar, right? And not just her, down to mayors. I think the mayor of, is it Golden Valley? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, she's a Muslim lady and maybe a Somali lady. And we're talking Minnetonka, I think. They have infiltrated some of our most wealthiest cities. As far as, I shouldn't say infiltrated, they have representation. Yeah, that sounds bad. They have representation
Okay,
in some of the most,
I was just letting you flow, right? But
okay,
we
you
doing
setting me
something.
up for
Yeah,
failure.
no,
Why
no,
you
no, 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 flow. Yeah, now your people want to come after you, and I mean where I belong, right? Yeah, I wear my hat on my head, right? As I say, I'm always say I'm a DTJ, I'm a DJT person.
They
I
they
don't have
have been, yes, they have been able to get representation in, some of the lowest population, where, I mean, the highest white population cities. You think about Edina, Golden Valley, Maple Grove,
that.
Minnetonka, they're
Mm-hmm.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um they're sitting on major seats, or sometimes some of them, like I said, are even mayors now for these cities. And so that just speaks volume. If you have a plan and you guys are united, things can happen. In Minnesota, I mean, Liberians, we need to get there. We really need to get there. We've been here the longest. We
And I
need to
think,
get
right,
there.
I'm curious to know, right, even that Islamic banking thing you talk about, right, because these are things, right, so long you have I've noticed, even like, that's how the rich people in this country operate. You have your asset, you go, you put it into a major bank, right? Whatever loan you take is backed by that, by that asset. So I'm sure, right, is that because of the way they have grown, right, they have they are probably put enough asset into those banks, right? They can go there and say, hey man, give me zero interest because as an Islamic person, I need to loan without me paying interest. So it's like that aspect of it is really, I think that may I don't know much detail about it, but I think that's the way they have done it, because even rich people do it, right? It's like if you have 100 million at Chase Manhattan and you go there for a loan, you say you want 1%, guess what? You're gonna get 1%. You determine your own interest rate. No one gonna tell you, say, hey, I did this what? Because what? You have a liquid asset there that's backed by whatever loan you are taking. So you can actually, I've seen that with my own two eyes. You can negotiate your own interest rate. But
Very
that's
much
the
so.
power. That's
Very
the
much
power.
so.
Yeah, that's the power of money, right? That's the power of money. I mean, that's what money can do. So to your point, if we can do that in our communities as well, and that's one of the things though that really, really something that interests me, man. If you look at single family homes, to me, that's where one of the things that really, a lot of a lot of immigrants want to buy homes. But man, sometimes like you go to your bank, someone will just look at you and say you don't qualify. Or when you qualify, they give you an interest rate that if you look at the amortization statement, you say, whoa, I mean, who am I making rich here? So why if we can put resources together and start helping each other to buy these single family home? Hmm? How's that, right?
We don't know the long we don't in it for the long haul. I'll tell you this. We had the opportunity to open our own credit union. We
Hmm.
were almost there.
Hmm.
I think it was starting out with the guys at the Liberian Business Association.
Okay.
Wells Fargo wanted to make sure that did not happen. You know why? I won't be surprised if Liberians alone probably have $500 million of money in Wells Fargo. Yes, they went, they had a little conversation with the who's who, and they wanted to shut that thing down because folks were going around and getting $25. I invested my $25, getting $25 from everybody to open this credit union. And it was like, what? Liberians want to open their own bank? So that should show you organized money is organized power. As other locations are closing, Wells Fargo are shutting down locations all across the state. Brooklyn Park alone, we have them within three of them, within maybe a 5 mile radius of it between Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn, and they're the most busiest. You
Right.
have West Broadway in Brooklyn Park, you have 85th and Zane in Brooklyn Park, and then you have Brooklyn Boulevard and Bass Lake Road in Brooklyn Center. Those are the three most high traffic. Go there any given day. I'm like, who are these people that still go to the bank in the first place? I don't
And
go to the bank
you
personally.
forgetting, I think you're forgetting, even though right, that's not broken power, you're forgetting Crystal. There's the one on Basilic Road, Crystal.
No, that's Brooklyn Center. That
Nah,
Bass Lake Road and Brooklyn Boulevard,
I
where the
said
couples
Basilic.
is.
I said Basilic Road in Crystal. I didn't
Oh
say. I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah, yeah. You're right. I know which one you're talking about. Yes, heading into New Hope. You're
Uh,
right. Thank you.
okay.
Those locations
Hmm.
very busy.
Hmm.
Wells Fargo, yes, very
But
very busy. And who
make
works
this make
there?
sense
We
to me.
do.
Well, make that make sense to me. Let me go back to your prior one. You said Liberians were trying to open a credit union in West Fargo,
Yes,
shut it down. How's that possible?
yes, huh?
How's that possible?
Because if you're talking to the right people,
Hmm.
you will convince them that you shouldn't be doing this. Come here, we'll create tools and mechanisms that will work for your people so you don't
Hmm.
need to go and do this. That's how
Hmm.
the conversation is going to go.
Hmm.
And that alone should have let you know that you're onto something, right?
Hmm.
When the big machinery can
Hmm.
make time to come
Hmm.
and find you and feel threatened by you, that means you're onto something.
Okay.
And the conversation went as high as political power, so
Mm,
that
okay.
piece too, yeah.
So I think here, right? I can show. I don't think they're gonna shut us down because that mean you have to
I
shut
mean,
you
we're
know
not trying
the
to open a
podcast
bank.
down.
We want to create an investment
Hey,
group, so that's they're two different
hey,
things.
okay.
They'll like us to
You
form
you
so we can borrow
you
money there.
you never know. You never know where this might take us. You never know where this might take us. Never know where
Yeah,
this might take us. Though. But here, about back to the investment forum thing, right? About these are spaces where in like there should be as we do this, as we push this forward, should be a safe space for folks to. It should be for anybody, right? It shouldn't be hey,
everybody.
you only be it should only be in certain economic bracket or in certain financial bracket, but it should be open to the community and also that it should be a safe space for where folks can get educated about. I have always said financial education, man, it is the most powerful education because that's what driving our lives. If you don't have money to pay bills, you're gonna be stressed. You're gonna we talk about mental stress yesterday, folks calling you from back home, right? So if you don't have the money and someone calling you, as Miss Jerry, she went away from Facebook, right? Jerry got they were harassing her like left and right. So she went away from
You don't have
Facebook.
Facebook at all, Jerry?
Well, she went away from there. She have it, but she
Oh
went away
God.
But
because she went LRB and we connected and said, okay, we're coming for you. You
coming
know,
for you.
but that's it. But that's it though, right? It's like it should be open to the community where we can build this space and educate our folks, and folks can really buy into this idea, you know. So that's what we're trying to do this. So whatever ideas you guys have for this forum, right? As we try to, because I said I'm really excited about it, Miss Cherry. What are ideas, Miss Cherry? What other ideas do you have? How can we drive this forward? How can we make
I
this thing
saw
really?
that.
Yeah.
Right now, honestly, I don't have a lot of ideas.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
it's because I'm like makes be. I
Hmm.
want to do it, but at the same time, right now, I feel like I'm scared because I don't have the time to put into it.
Oh, don't be scared. When it comes to time for me, I said when I come, Miss B and I had a show, right? We're talking about it's about it was already in May. We're already in May. But at the end of the year, we're talking about our goals. I said coming to this year for me, I want to be like Elon Musk. Minus the drugs and all those babies, right? Minus the drugs and the babies. But I wanted to be like his work ethic, right? I make and take on anything and see it through. So you ladies brought these ideas, right? We can all put to like when it comes to implementation, right?
Yeah.
Because look, that
My
is
We
goal
can
something we
carry each
shouldn't
other.
just
We can
yeah, we
carry each
shouldn't just
other.
yeah, we shouldn't just come here and talk, right? So
No.
yeah.
we shouldn't just come here and talk, right? And I
I feel
think it
like
is yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think we started with the whole real estate thing. That's a good way to get started. Because a lot of our businesses, our business owners, I don't know if you guys have noticed,
Mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm.
pay more for office space in the Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center area, and those buildings offer little to nothing to them. And
Mm.
when you go
See?
places like Minneapolis and St.
Mm-hmm,
Paul, there's
mm-hmm,
a difference. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
mm-hmm.
The
Well,
co-working spaces or the things that they have in those buildings, and our business owners are paying even more in rent in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, and they have nothing to
okay,
offer in those buildings. So if we
okay.
can get
Tell them, my
something,
dear, they don't realize it. They just see, oh, lease, they sign it.
it's not that. Because I go to Point, I go to Minneapolis, and I go to somebody. I'm like, but I go Brooklyn Park. The place is dirty. There is nothing in there, and you're charging somebody for a tiny little space, $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, and I go to St. Paul, the same 500 or even less, and they have a gym, a cafeteria, a this, a that, and most of the time it's the same investors that own these buildings.
Yep.
So
Oh
how
yeah.
about we can start there with some of this, like four money together, we get place will make it more than with all of these amenities for our business owners to come and rent from us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's a you see that's a good one. That's a good one, right? That's how we can get started, right? Because I ended this about what? It's about real world education. Some of you got in the business space, right? It's about live experiences. As you say, right? You go to Minneapolis, you see Minneapolis should be very expensive. It is the largest city in the state of Minnesota, St. Paul, and then St. Paul is the second largest city. These places should be expensive. But if Broken Park is more expensive for our people versus other immigrants in those communities are having rent cheap for their businesses. I think it's something we need to look at and do something about it. But how can we do it? Is putting our resources together and attacking that. And one thing though, right, you ladies have started something, right? When Minnesota's always dropped the narrative in the immigrant Liberian community. If we start here, who knows? It might blow up to
So
the
go to
city
the
of.
east,
Go
leave
ahead,
it that alone.
go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. Mm, go
Oh
ahead.
no,
What were you
we
saying?
go to the east coast. I wasn't trying to say anything
Oh
else.
yeah, we can go to the East Coast. We can go. I said we can go all over. We can go to Texas. We can go to the East Coast. We can go. We can go Atlanta. We can go all over, right? We can go all over. We can get folks involved.
Yeah. So I mean, so what we're ultimately thinking to do here is an
Mhm.
investment firm.
Yeah.
That's what eventually what we would grow to. And that
Mm-hmm.
investment firm can start doing stuff nationally and
Yeah.
globally, right? Depending
Yeah.
on where we start to go. Just know at some point it's going to have to form a leadership, right? There will need to be a structure put in place. Right now, we start just buying one property, that's fine, We can all come together
Well,
and properly manage.
it's
But at some
yeah.
point, when you grow this firm, it's going to
Mhm.
need it. It's going to need some structure.
So long the community is benefiting, right? So long the community is, as I know this about the community, is a community benefiting. People are putting an investment in there. Are they getting return on their investment? Because a lot of people, as I said, that's what other communities are doing, and they are benefiting immensely. Not only like the financial return, but also like the Islamic loan you talked about last night. If a Somali person worked to maybe a US bank and they want a mortgage, right? It's probably backed by some kind of a asset that they can easily get that loan. So we start creating these kind of access point for our people, right? For the community. We say, hey man, okay. So then you're an investor in here. You come, you want to, purchase a home. Maybe we can help you negotiate your own interest rate. Or maybe do something like that, right? Hey, it's like these are ideas of Miss Jerry point. Okay, you buy this property, maybe like a commercial property in Broken Park for the community. It's not only you coming to pay rent, but there are amenities in there to serve the community, right? And things like that. So those are all of the benefits. So however way we grow this thing, I think the benefits is huge for the community. And just about shifting that mindset, as I said, right? Shifting that mindset. It's about shifting the community mindset. And that is something you ladies, bro, we should all just try to put. It's going to require work, no doubt, right? It's like nothing come easy. I know you ladies are busy, but we can, as I said, right? The mindset I have this year, 2025, is the Elon Musk mindset. Minor the drugs and the babies. That's what I can say to people, right? Don't say because don't say because I want to be like Elon Musk. I'm like I got 14 babies. Nah, I ain't to that point.
Thanks anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
just
don't
want
have
to
40
kind of
baby moms like you know
Nah, I ain't got that. I ain't reached to that point yet. I ain't got that. I don't even think I will ever get there. Go ahead, Mickey.
Elon Musk just throws money he at that situation
Mm-hmm.
because to be having kids, it takes a lot of mental, emotional, you
Mm-hmm.
know, know-how and well-being. Money is the least of what you need to bring to be raising kids, but that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
different conversation. So
Yeah, I don't want you. As I say, I just throwing that joke out there.
yeah,
I don't want
we
you to
respect
come.
your work ethic,
Mm.
Abraham. You don't need to be Elon Musk. We respect your work ethic. We can
No, no,
see
no.
that you're a hardworking person.
I want to be like him because man, it's like I be wondering how he runs his companies, right? And then running the government on the side, and then at the same time making all those babies. Like who has that kind of
But he's
energy?
not doing
Who
it.
has
He's
that?
not doing it. He has
Yeah,
people. He has
who
a
has that
staff
kind of
and a
energy?
team.
and
You are as good as your
But
weakest link. He has the brightest, the best and the brightest. That's
But the fact
trust
that
me.
he can
That's
even pull that together, though, he can even pull that together, right? He can pull those teams together. Sometimes that's what it is, right? It's like the fact that he can even do that, pull them together. Hmm?
no. He at this point he's not checking resumes. He's not hiring anybody, Abraham. He couldn't probably
Okay.
tell you who's the CEO for most of those companies.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, that he owns. It's just
Okay.
that when you build something, yes, when you build it, and you build it well, it can thrive without you. Like, Jeff Bezos is no longer at the head of Apple. I
No,
don't think
Amazon,
Bill
Amazon,
Gates is,
Amazon, Amazon.
I mean, at the head of Amazon,
Hmm.
and so on and so forth, right? And so Zuckerberg is young; he has nothing else to do. But at some point, he probably won't be managing Facebook anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, but back to us.
Yep.
We want to get there.
Hmm.
I do want to achieve that level of success.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just gonna say wealth. For me, wealth building has never been about a number. It's just I know it'll be a lifestyle that I'm comfortable and I'm not stressing that even when I'm sleeping I'm making money, right?
Hmm.
Um and that lifestyle doesn't have to come with being a trillionaire or even a billionaire, right?
Hmm.
So it's just I want to achieve a great level of success before I leave this world. Yeah.
Then, so I think the other thing the thing about it, right, is like is the impact for me is the impact, right?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
next one we're gonna get to, right? It's the impact. Some is like wealth, you can get all the money. A lot of people, a lot of rich people, but they have not made any impact in this world, even in their communities. So for me, it's the impact, right? It's like, and if this can shift the mindset, right, of our community, this can shift the mindset of our community, for our community to believe in togetherness, right? Investing. I'm talking about we can come together and make us all we want. But if we are not putting our resources together to invest together as a community, To me, it's more about, I think the ideas you guys have brought or put forward last week, at the end of the day, if it can impact the community, for the community to say, man, there's the power in togetherness, coming together and doing something, there's power in it. I think the impact that we can have in this community, it will be huge, right? And the other thing, Miss Jerry, though, how can we move from that? In our community, we blame a lot. Some people say, "Oh, that person not trustworthy. The person not." It's just the blame game. Sometimes we blame the system. How can we move from blaming the system and trying to? I know we know the system is broken. The system has issues, but how can we start? As I said, having an impact, having making inroads with the system.
For
Oh,
me, it's taking intentional actions towards what we talk about.
yeah,
Because if we take any action, we don't know. We have to try at least,
yeah,
see if it works.
yeah. See. That's the thing, right? Intentional action. I love that intentional action. Intentional action. So, folks, that's the discussion tonight. The Inner Cycle podcast. These two ladies, man, it's good to be in the company of two smart ladies. The only thing, whoever married to them, I know they can get in hell because when you get smart people in the room, they get smart. When you get smart people in the room, sometimes bad. Hey, kudos. This is like shout out to my guys out there who married the two smart ladies, but you guys are holding it down, right? And stuff. But when you have two smart ladies, they always bring great ideas. And I think they have sparked something tonight that is very, very good, right? So that's what we're discussing. The Inner
Yeah.
Circle Podcast Investment Forum.
But my
These ladies,
question for you is, AB, what do you hope? What do you hope to get? Like, what when you talk about this group, what's your vision? What do you hope to see?
impact, change your mindset. Impact.
Okay.
Yeah, as an impact. I think, what I've learned, even yesterday we're talking, right? What I've learned, the longest I've stayed in this country to me is viewpoint. Wealth, right? It's not individual, right? You might see, oh, yeah, you might hear the Warren Buffett, the Bill Gates, but where if you hear the BlackRock, right? That's an institutional investment firm,
Oh
BlackRock.
yeah.
If you hear the
Yep.
asset, I mean, they guys is they can invest, or the other one is owned by the Japanese guy. They almost invest in every technology company that comes along. Every
Mm-hmm.
technology company. I just the name just escaping me right now. But every technology company that comes along,
Very
right,
interesting.
invest in it. They just have the money sitting. They just have the money, the resources, everything. So what I've learned, over the years of being, in this country and observing people, following investors and investments, is like the wealth individuals have it, but it's sitting in communities, right? It's sitting in groups, right? It's not just one person, right? These guys go together and pull those resources together and just go right. Even that's what Warren Buffett do. Berkshire Hathaway is not it's not Warren Buffett own money, right? People say is like he takes other people money and just
Yep.
invest it. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's a
Yep.
group of people coming together. So to
Yeah.
answer your questions about the impact and changing the community mindset, that look, man, we can do something together and have an impact. You see, you go to a lot of communities, I love to travel. You go to a lot of other communities, you travel around, it just our community that we don't have impact. We have been here for so long. It's like, and I think the way that where that is lacking, right? That's why we don't even that's why we don't have the political power, because I think in this country sometimes like this thing is like it goes around. The political power helps with economic power helps with political power. So it's just the two things. So if we have the money, we can maybe invest in a candidate like Huda Hisley, right? And she goes down there and win. She's our interest. She's there. She know we contribute to our campaign and we help her to go there. When we go talk to her, she's gonna listen. And it can happen to anybody in the community. It can happen to every community in this country. So
Mm.
again, it's about the impact. How can we start changing that mindset, right? Just focusing and trying to have an impact.
And I like how you keep connecting business and politics, because that's the main thing I hear from Liberian business owners. Oh, me, I gotta focus on my business, or I ain't got time for politics, or I gotta focus on my business, or I got. I'm like, your inability to not care about politics is impacting your business. That's why you're in the building that Jerry is talking about that she doesn't want to go to, because Because you just come back with that Waterside, and nothing against Waterside, and shout out to Waterside Market. That's a great story there in Brooklyn Park. But you come with that Waterside Market material mentality that, oh, let me just have my list shop. Yeah, you don't care what else is happening outside of the four walls of the corners of that shop, to the extent where the front door that leads to the shop, like Jerry said, is not even welcoming or inviting. But you just know you're in that building and you got a little office space, a little 200 square feet of space, whatever have you, and you in business. And so I think it's like, when you talk about impact, Abraham, that's been a large part of the work that I've been doing, is just kind of changing the mindset of our business owners, like understanding giving them the narrative and the language when it comes to doing business. And you cannot try to be in America and doing business like you would be doing it in Liberia. That is a huge grave mistake, and we have to continue to address that here on the Inner Circle podcast and this investment thing we're trying to do.
And the funny thing about that, though, they will tell you they don't care about politics, but you go into a lot of their homes, CNN is on 24/7. And what does CNN do? What it is that CNN do 24/7 is like the jet talking politics. You say you don't like politics, you don't want to be part of American politics, but you are kind to your home on the CNN or maybe
Okay.
news. Yeah, you're listening to politics 24/7. So
Or they're
make
too busy in their store set watching the TV to notice
yeah,
you
make
came
it
in
make
to buy
sense to
something.
me. How come you don't like politics, American politics, but all day you guys see and then rolling, you know what I mean? And things like that make sense to me. But that's the thing, right? As I said,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, is like we have to shift that mindset. Like, look, man, it's like everything Elon Musk is doing. Why is he doing it? Because he had a lot of government contracts. Business people, right? Is like one of the things they gravitated towards Trump. It's like that right now Trump is traveling the Middle East. Boeing just signed a $150 billion contract. Businesses benefiting. You have all these American CEOs making deals,
Yep.
making deals.
Yep.
Business and politics in America is like, as a Liberian can say, 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. You know, far from one another. It's right
Mm-hmm.
there. It's always together. As I said, you send people to the state capital, they send you something back. That's why the
Yeah.
Caucasian communities are economically powerful and politically
Yep.
powerful, and things like that. So that's all we need to, So again, right, that's the kind of a mindset we need to have. So for us, we're not going to, run away from it here. Cycle Park. We're going to start. We're going to keep pushing it, and it's going to be a two-front thing where we can try to do the economic power thing and also the political power. Start convincing folks, man. You need to go in there to start, advocating for us too. As I said, I'm excited about my girl, Huda Hisley, man. She's doing great job, and stuff like that. Beginning once the session is over, right? She's gonna be here once a month just to talk about, what is her plan for the community, her accomplishment, things like that. But those are the people we should be pushing. And there was, let me just take a side track, but there was one lady one long time ago that said she got elected in Denver in the state legislature. Is she still there? Or the LeBron guy that was mayor of Montana, the state of Montana, is he still
I
there? Or what?
wonder if he's still. Oh yeah, he came here,
Uh,
man. I
okay.
should remember his name. I don't know if he's still the mayor though. But
Hmm.
yeah, I know the lady is still in office in Denver. I see
Hmm.
her in I'm a part of this group called the African Community Forum in WhatsApp, and
Hmm.
she ran and was reelected again.
We'll reach out to
Um,
her, bring her on here. We'll reach out to her and bring her here. Those are people we need to highlight, or like,
In Brooklyn Park or something. I don't know if I remember.
so people form what they call PACs, right?
Okay.
Political action committees, and PACs are people who wealthy people come together. They form these PACs and they put their money together and they decide this is the candidate they're going to back. And like Abraham says, that candidate knows now when they get there, their goal is to get some wins, pass some policies or resources to the folks of the members of that PAC. They know who supported them, and they'll keep those people in mind when they get there. We got to continue to tell our people the importance of investing in campaigns. We'll have people running for office and we don't believe in investing in their campaign. Give the people that live $50, $100. Like, really? Really? You spend $50 and $100 on every day just walking outside your house. It buys literature. It gives them money to pay for the volunteers that will be knocking those doors to talk to voters, to get voters to vote for them. That's where the money is going to be. Don't be clocking how much money somebody's making off a campaign. They have to report all of that, right? They're not going to get $1 million from their campaign. They have to report that. And in finance, the political campaign laws regulate how much people can donate, how much of their personal money they can put into this thing. So there are laws in place. Ilhan keeps about maybe $6 million sitting in her campaign account all year round because she needs that money. She needs to be making things happen, having conversations, showing up to community events, and
Mhm.
all year, especially when they're in those 2-year seats, it's like they're always campaigning. Yeah. They're in those 2-year seats. There's the people in the Senate, House of Representative, who the seat is a 2-year seat. So she's always campaigning. It's just as 2026 she'll be campaigning again to get reelected. And she just
Okay.
got in there 2025. So
Mhm.
you gotta invest in political campaigns. We have to come together, and money is power, and we have a lot of it. Liberian folks, y'all not broke. Y'all
Okay.
not broke around here.
That's great. I mean, that's good. Thanks for bringing that up. And again, folks, tonight we are discussing that, a good idea, good idea that was, initiated or started or proposed by these two ladies, the Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum, a place where we can talk investment, real estate, stock, anything you think about, as I said, a lot of buildings in Broken Park. Then the one thing I noticed, not only in the Broken Park, but the Northwest suburb. All the CVS leaving. What's going on with that? All the CVS building. All the
They're
CVS
merging with
building.
Target. They have a partnership with Target. So all Target pharmacies have become CVS pharmacies.
Okay, those are buildings that we can we need to gobble some of them up, and
I
turn
know
it.
a lot of buildings sitting in that Brooklyn Center.
Yeah,
And
a lot of empty buildings. So folks, tonight that's what we're trying to focus on. Bring shift the community mindset to investment, right? And it's something we want to spark here in Minnesota, in Broken Park, in the Northwest suburb. We want to spark it. These two ladies brought this idea. We want to start small, right? And do this thing. We'll come here every day, every Wednesday, and talk business. So if you have a question, something you're interested in learning more, right, you can put a comment in the chat. It's a 1 hour show, and we're almost going an hour, man. Time can fly. We're on this business segment. Time can really, really fly because we'll be having fun. We'll be discussing good ideas. But uh, Miss Jerry, right? The one thing about about it, I mean, there's such a things about starting small, and the condition doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes we like bring we love perfection, even though we are not perfect. How can we make sure that we keep ourselves honest here? Is that look, man, the condition doesn't have to be perfect. It's something we have to hit the ground running and make it happen.
well, that's me. I'm a perfectionist.
You are you are tell that's why that's your is that why you love perfection?
Yeah, I love these. I'm like, I need to get everything on the docs there. Okay. But
Whoa,
I think
whoa.
that we should just start at least with
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
grab a
That's
coffee.
good because I like to ride the bike and build it at the same time. And so you can
Yeah.
balance me out.
Well, grab a coffee, come to my house, let's talk. Let's see how we can get started. Let's
Yeah.
start.
Okay, that's it, right? So that's the call to action. We're gonna get started here first. I can show you, right? Last week, and the reason why that we had a different topic. We want to talk about this. We had a different topic for today. Actually, when I talked about that, I said, no, man, I gotta push these two ladies so we can talk about this thing today and try to get it going. So it's that we're gonna get it going. We're going to, it's like they are the two of them are already entrepreneurs, right? So they know we'll try to get a legal process going. They said they like to sign documentation. We'll put some seed money down here in this thing and get it moving, and get it moving. And the seed money, don't think like we just start small, small. And folks, we said the idea, and we have everything is legit, it's legal, documentation. I'm glad that two of them like Miss B like traceability, Miss Jerry, she's very perfect. So, it's like it's good. I mean, this thing is going to work out. This thing is going to work out. So this here, what we have started here is three of us first, but folks, I know my man Peterson said he want to be part of this thing. Peterson, you're welcome, man. You know what I mean? And stuff. We'll bring you on board. I know you're in the great city of Chicago, but we'll get you on here and we'll hopefully expand it to Chicago. Miss Jerry said Chicago is one of our favorite places, favorite
Oh
city.
yeah, that market is prime right now. Honestly,
You see that, you see that, you see
I
that.
yeah,
So yeah,
that Chicago, Illinois market is really prime right now.
see, so that's the thing. So Peterson will bring you on board, but that is not going to be the end of it tonight. And we'll give you guys an update maybe once a month. how is it going? You know, where how far has the idea gone? You know, and things like that. We'll be brainstorming, and every once a month on this segment, we'll discuss. We'll give you an update on the Inner Circle Podcast Investment Forum. Ladies, as we try to wrap it here, any last word you want to leave with the audience? You know, anything you want to say to our audience tonight as we try to wrap up? As I said, I'm very, very excited about this. It's like something, man, when you guys brought the idea, something, it sparked something in me that the community need to do something. Any last word from you guys?
Jewri.
Well, I can say we've been here for the longest. It's about time we make our impact and leave some type of footprint in the community.
Okay.
I'll leave you guys with some homework. Go and look up, just Google buy the block. BUY block. BLOCK. Buy the block.
Okay.
Oh,
Buy the
oh,
black. So there you
Buy
go.
the
Folks. Buy the black. So go and check it out. Buy the black. It might kind of inspire you to maybe hit us up, right? To try to be part of this thing. But it's been a great conversation, ladies. You know, I say you guys are so smart. You guys have great ideas. You guys want to move the community forward. And that's what inspires me. That's the impact I think we can do for our community. We shouldn't just come here and talk, but we should walk the walk. So thank you so much, ladies and folks, man. It's been a great conversation. We're gonna be back here tomorrow. Cycle podcast like 5 days a week, right? We have business segment. We talk all business. We don't talk nothing. All business, all business. And then tomorrow we switch it up. And then Friday is man woman talk. How I can tell you so sure. If you in a library, you cannot be on library and not do man woman talk. So Cycle podcast we got that for you. Friday. If you join my girl win match, she's going to light it up for you. It's going to be lit. I hear this coming Friday. It's going to be lit. So, folks, that's
what
it.
is
So,
the podcast on Thursday? Do you guys have a podcast on Thursday?
we have the 5 days a week, Miss Jerry. 5 days
Monday,
a week.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Monday,
Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're
So
not reading
Monday,
it.
I want to remind folks, Monday is the
Okay,
entertainment
right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
entertainment hour,
Mhm.
and we will be dissecting the Diddy case. We will
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really
mean,
be
I,
diving.
I,
We'll be
I,
diving into the Diddy
that
case
stuff
with
is
guys.
hard. I mean, some of the things been coming out of that thing is it been hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so. But that's. So Monday is gonna be the P Diddy trial from our own lens, right? How we're looking at that. How man, that stuff is like, man, it's
Have a
deep.
lot. I have a lot to say, so I can't
you have
wait
a
for Monday.
lot.
I have a lot to say. Yeah.
It's deep, but right away, folks. Man, good night, folks. See you guys tomorrow, and we are here every Friday, 5 days a week, 7:30. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and you all have a good night.
Good night, everyone.